Om Shanti. Can somebody present the screen for the movie? Yes. Okay. So today's Murli, today's Avyak Murli, Bapdada had spoken on 5th December 1979. The title of the Murli is In Order to Fly the Flag of Victory, Begin the Realization Course. So in this Murli, Baba has clearly called out one of the major differences that differentiates the elephant riders, which is the Maharathis, the horse riders, and the infantry. Baba's comparing that, how the flags of victory fly for each of these categories, right? And what makes us effort makers go into the moon dynasty or the sun dynasty. Baba has also emphasized on constant effort making versus fluctuating effort making and how that impacts our future. And Baba goes on to speak about how a major difference comes in when we realize and we have a realization of how we are making efforts. Baba says sometimes we continue to make efforts without a realization because we get used to just making the effort. But when we make efforts with a thorough realization of where I'm going, am I achieving my purpose? I'm probably checking and changing myself every day. That makes a huge difference in where we reach. Baba also talks about faith and intoxication. So we will read Bapdada's versions. Bapdada says, today, Bapdada was seeing his spiritual army. Bapdada saw in this army all the number-wise ranks according to their stages. So get that vision in front of you, like Baba, where he's reviewing the army, where we have elephant riders, then we have the horse riders, and in front, there's an infantry. Then Baba says, Baba saw in this army all the number-wise ranks according to their stages. The elephant riders, the Maharathis, the horse riders, and the infantry. He saw on the foreheads, that is, in the awareness of the Maharathi, the flags of victory constantly flying. So in the foreheads of the Maharathis, the flags of victory are constantly flying. Every situation, there is victory and constant victory. The horse riders, the second number, also had flags of victory lying on their foreheads in their awareness, but they were not flying constantly. There are flags of victory for horse riders as well, but Baba says it's not constant. That's the first difference. So for horse riders, you will sometimes be victorious and sometimes Maya will be victorious or the situation will be victorious. So it's up and down in the stage and the situations. Baba says, sometimes their flags were flying on the basis of the sparkle of their happiness and the intoxication of their faith. But at the other times, because the breeze of the sparkle and intoxication was not strong, instead of flags flying, they were just hanging in one position. So what happens? Why the constant victory is not there? Because sometimes when the sparkle of intoxication, when the sparkle of happiness and the intoxication of faith is there, the flags are flying high, the victory is there. But sometimes because that sparkle and that intoxication is not that strong, it is not able to hold on in all kinds of situations. And because of that, we are not able to be victorious as horse riders. Then Baba says, those in the third number, the infantry, remain engaged in making a lot of effort to fly their flags. But fly their flags with their string of faith and the sparkle of happiness. But sometimes, because of the knots of their weaknesses, the flags would get stuck and be unable to fly. So for the infantry, because there are some weaknesses inside, even while making the effort and while doing a lot of effort to be with Baba, mostly all the time goes in effort making. And we are not able to be victorious. So see, there is a difference between horse riders and infantry. Baba says horse riders, they have the sparkle of happiness and the intoxication of faith. But it's not strong enough to constantly sustain the victory, because of which there is fluctuation, or the flag cannot constantly fly high. Which means that sometimes it flies high and sometimes it doesn't. So a little bit of effort in enhancing the sparkle of happiness and the intoxication of faith can make that difference. And for the infantry, Baba says, there are knots of weaknesses which make us make a lot of effort and still not achieve that result. This happens in Lokik also. When you're not passionate about something, or when you're not completely dedicated to something, or when you are just doing something but not completely into it, right? You will do it, you will spend a lot of energy because you have to do it, but you will not see the results the way you should. It's the same thing. Because there are weaknesses. And these weaknesses could be subtle weaknesses which are pulling us down. So important is to identify those weaknesses and overcome them. Make plans to overcome them. Baba goes on to say, however, because they did keep themselves occupied in making a lot of effort, the flags of some of them did begin to fly. But this only happened after they spent some time in making effort, right? More effort, less result. But the flags do fly. Therefore, They didn't have that sparkle of intoxication. And Baba says, see, how can you have intoxication when you're making so much effort to get a result, right? Either you can make effort or you can just be intoxicated and be effortless, effort maker. Baba says, on seeing the children's efforts, Bap Dada was giving them sakash from a distance in the form of a signal of how to do it. Many times we do observe, right, that Baba is the guiding light. When the catching power is good, we get Baba's thoughts and we get his guidance. So Baba was giving that guidance from a distance. Baba says, some children were able to catch the signal and become successful, but other children were so busy in the effort, as they were so busy in making the effort, that they didn't even have the time to catch the signal. See, we are here because we recognize Baba and we wanted to be with Baba. But when we are so engrossed in the effort making that sometimes we forget Baba and we only remember the effort. Even if he's trying to show us something, trying to guide us, we are not able to take or catch his directions. So this is something that we should be, going inside and thinking, what can I do to catch what Baba wants to share with me at all times, not sometime, at all times. And how can I be free from this effort of effort making and just be with Baba and enjoy being with Baba. And effort making can become effortless. Baba says, Baba saw all three ranks of soldiers in this army. When everyone's flag began to fly very well, either through the children's laboring or easy efforts, there was the splendor of a shower of flowers of victory coming down. That is, the shower of the flowers of the revelation of the Father and the children. And when will that happen? When either through the laboring or the easy efforts, our flags of victory start flying high. They will eventually fly high, either through efforts or through easy efforts. Baba says, Pap Dada is now going to tell you children an easy way to make efforts that you're making. The Baba is also guiding through this Murli. How can we make easy efforts? What is the reason that the flag of victory does not fly constantly or at the right time? What is the reason that the flag you hoist at function does not fly at the right time? It is because you don't rehearse beforehand, right? If you don't rehearse beforehand, even during functions, some or the other thing goes wrong. So it's always advised to rehearse. And the more you rehearse, the perfect you become when the actual event takes place. Baba says, the main thing you need in order to fly the flag of victory is realization. Underline. Realization. And Baba will explain what he means by realization. Baba says, start the realization course at Amrit Vela. All of you speak of all these things, but it is one thing to speak about something and another thing to realize it, feel it, experience it. Versus, there's one thing to speak about something and another thing to realize it. That is to experience it. There is a difference in this. Let's bring Janki Dadi in front of us. Whenever she was taking a class, or she was even speaking about something small, she used to speak from her experience. In fact, all the Dadis. But Dadi Janki was very expressive. Her face used to be the mirror of what she's feeling inside, right? So every time she used to talk about Baba, she used to talk from experience, and you could feel it. You could get this vibration. And when she was talking about the efforts, it was the experience that was coming out and not just the words. And she used to take you along with her in those experiences. And that is what Baba is talking about here. That speaking is one thing and experiencing is another. Our aim should be to experience everything that Baba says in the moment. Not just know, not just learn, but feel, experience, realization. Baba says, it is one thing to hear or say that you have all the relationships with the Father. But if you were to remain absorbed in the experience or attainment of each relationship, you would easily remain beyond the atmosphere of the old world. So if we are absorbed in the experience of each relationship, we would easily remain beyond the atmosphere of the old world. You would then experience a different relationship for each task you carry out, and on the basis of the cooperation you receive from each of these relationships, you would remain in the experience of constant yoga underlying. Such a beautiful thing, Baba said. Baba said, if you have a practice of all the experiences, if you have felt in your heart all the experiences with Baba, the relationships with Baba, of a child, of a mother, of a father, of a friend, of a bridegroom, of a brother, of a sister, or any other relationship that I might think of. There are many, of a mentor, and whenever I'm doing something, there are different stages and different relationships that I need to experience to help me through that situation. Sometimes you might need a father. Sometimes you might need a mother. Sometimes you might need a friend just to share. If we have those experiences with Baba, and if we've had an experience and felt truly that relationship with Baba, we can use that relationship at that time. And that is what Baba is talking about as constant yoga. It's so easy, that easy, actually. So Baba says, to have yoga means to take cooperation from the Father. And there are so many experiences that, Baba's children have shared on how they got cooperation as a son, as a father, as a mother, as a protector. We can go and check all those experiences and beautiful experiences souls have shared. So to have yoga means to take cooperation from the Father and experience the different relationships with the Father at every moment, underline every moment, not some moments, not moments when we really need Him, we are calling Him, and then He comes. No, every moment. Because even calling Baba is effort making, but just having Him at all times with me in all types of relationships is zero effort making and constant yoga. That's easy effort making, is what Baba is saying. Baba says, why do you not become such easy and constant yogis? This is something that we need to check. What is pulling me that I'm not able to become an easy and constant yogi? What is pulling me away from Baba? Anything of this world, if it pulls us away from Baba. It could be anything, very subtly. We might not even realize. It's not the five vices or the others, but it's just something of this world that's pulling me. It's a string that's pulling me away from Baba. So what is that thing? How does Maya subtly come into and move me away from Baba? There's always a door or a window or a small hole that's open for Maya to come in, which we don't realize, but it pulls us away from Him. Baba says, since the Father is giving His companionship, why do those who should take it not take it? You must experience how taking cooperation is also a form of yoga. Underline. You're not actually doing yoga, you're not sitting and doing yoga, but you're just taking cooperation from Baba of the relationship which matters at that time. It's that simple. Baba says that is a form of yoga. Have you experienced what the relationship with the Father is? What the relationship with the Mother is? See, it's one thing sitting in yoga and then remembering Baba as a mother, as a father. And it's another thing while going about my day, having those experiences with Baba of different relationships. That's a different level of closeness with Baba. Baba says, what the relationship with your closest friend is, and what the experience of the constant company of the bridegroom is. Have you experienced all these different relationships? If you deprive yourself of experiencing even one relationship, you remain deprived throughout the whole cycle. Because this is the only time of the cycle when you receive the mind of all experiences. Beautiful. Baba says, please experience each and every relationship with me, because this is the only time you're getting the mine of all experiences. Anytime you want to get any experiences, just dig into the mine and take it. No effort is needed. The mine is there. But sometimes we are used to making effort because of the efforts that we've made in these past 63 births. We feel that something which is coming easy might not be true. So I have to make effort to get that thing. Baba says, if not now, then never. It's such a big thing that if I deprive myself of a relationship with Baba at this time, at the confluence age when I have the mind of all relationships, I might not be able to do that ever because that will be ingrained. And every 5,000 years, at this stage, I will not be able to take that experience. Baba says, so check yourself to see which relationship you have as yet being able to experience. What is missing? In the same way, in the subject of knowledge, do you experience all the points of knowledge that you speak about? So there are so many different points. Being soul conscious, being in the awareness of the drama, looking at every other soul as a brother. So many different points that Baba has given. Baba is saying, do you experience all these points of knowledge that you speak about? You speak of being spinners of the discus of self-realization. And so, on what basis do you speak of having had a vision of yourself? Okay? Seeing ourselves over the past 84 births, how we've moved from one stage to another stage to the other stage, and where I am today. So Baba says, have you seen a vision of yourself? Or you just speak about that? To have a vision means to know, and someone who knows maintains his authority of knowing about that subject. Okay? Imagine some in Lokik also when somebody knows the subject in and out, each and everything, would have written books or would have been an authority of the subject. He'll always be in that, that realization that I am the authority of the subject. The same way, if we truly know who we are or who we were, then we would be in the authority of that know-how. I know who I was. I know who I am. Nowadays, sorry, nowadays, those who study scriptures simply read the scriptures parrot fashion, and yet each one considers himself to be an authority of these scriptures. Sometimes if you have read so many scriptures, you become so much of an authority in those scriptures, and you have that aura around you, even in devotion. Baba says, none of you just recites this knowledge parrot fashion. You play with it. Many times in the Murli, Baba has said, these are jewels. And my children play with jewels. They don't play with toys, they play with jewels, the jewels of knowledge. And it's beautiful to play with them, in our daily life, in our day-to-day business. It's beautiful when we play with knowledge, and we all would have that experience of playing with knowledge. Someone who constantly plays with it, that is, someone who churns this knowledge and becomes an embodiment of it, would have the authority of this knowledge. Many times Baba speaks of something in the Murli and we feel, yes, I've experienced this. Then you get intoxicated even while reading Murli or while somebody is reading the Murli. But if you've not experienced that point of knowledge yet, the level of intoxication is a little lower. This means, Baba says, that he would be constantly intoxicated. See, the point came. This means that he would be constantly intoxicated about every point of this knowledge. So do you maintain your authority of every point of knowledge? That is, do you remain in the intoxication of having experienced it? the intoxication of the relationships with Baba, experience of the relationships with Baba, and the intoxication of the experience of playing with knowledge. In the same way, when we speak of the different virtues in the subject of dharana, are you yourself an authority through having experienced every virtue? Are you a speaker, part of the audience, or an authority? Here I'll bring Dadi Prakash Mani in front of me. Whenever she used to speak, be it in a conference, be it in front of VIPs, be it in front of the BKs or non-BKs, she used to speak with an authority, with an intoxication. And everyone used to feel it, that this soul who's talking is talking with an authority. She herself has experienced it, explored it, realized it. And that's when everybody used to respect and listen to each and every word that she used to say. Because she had an authority and an aura of having experienced each and every word that she was saying. Baba says, it is through this that you can claim your number. Through what? Through the experience of relationships, each and every relationship with Baba, and having the constant yoga. Through the experience of playing with knowledge, and through the experience of being an authority in the virtues. So an authority in all these three things: relationships, knowledge, and virtue. Once I do that, I can claim my number. So it's not that difficult if you see. It's very easy. Baba says, a Maharathi is one who has the authority of having experienced every word. Horse riders are those who listen and speak a great deal, but do not have sufficient authority of experience. So what is the easy method? The lack of realization means to lack becoming an image of experience. This is the main difference between devotion and knowledge. There, people merely speak of it, whereas here, you experience it. So the basis of remaining a constant yogi is constantly to take cooperation of all relationships, become experienced. Do you understand? Attain the mind of experiences very well. Don't just attain a little, but attain it all. Don't just experience 2 or 3 relationships or 2 or 3 points of knowledge, but become an embodiment of all experiences. Become a master, almighty authority, and your flag of victory will fly constantly high. Underline, master, almighty authority. So what Baba did today in this Murli, he explained what being a master, almighty authority means. Baba says, the Father has love for everyone. He also has love for those from Maharashtra. All of you from Maharashtra must become embodiments of all experiences. It's a special love in case somebody is there from Maharashtra here. So the speciality of Maharashtra is that you all become victorious. You are not warriors who are constantly battling hard. but those who are constantly victorious. The time for being a warrior is now over. If even now you still remain a warrior, you are going to become part of the Moon Dynasty. It is now time to become a Brahmin, to become one who is victorious. The sanskars of remaining victorious over a long period of time are needed. But there is now very little time left in which to do this. So if you don't fill yourself with the sanskars of remaining victorious, you become part of the Moon Dynasty. Therefore, there's still time for you to change your line of fortune. Acha. To those who remain constantly victorious, to those who have authority by having experienced all relationships, to those who have authority by having experienced every point of knowledge, to those who have authority by having experienced every virtue, to those who have authority by having the speciality of being an ever-ready all-rounder in the subject of knowledge, to such elevated souls who are equal to Father Bapdada's love, remembrance, and namaste. So then Baba meets the groups, maybe that can be picked up tomorrow. So we will give 1 minute of silence and then we will go to the journey. Okay? Anybody wants to share their journeys? It was a beautiful Murli that Baba spoke about how to become Master Almighty Authority. And very clearly Baba explained so Gilcha sister has written something. Somebody wants to bring out?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
It's such a beautiful analogy when the way Baba explains, as I've already put in concrete, I have already shared in the chat box, as in when you were reading the Murli, the stage of a Maharati. I remember these three pictures when I went to the temple in Madhuban. I've seen this area where they show the Maharatis, the horse riders, and the infantry. But what picture I could get, because here Baba is speaking of flag, FLAG, flag of victory. And before that comes the cries of victory. So I was thinking the three stages. See, we have seen when people are unfurling the flag, they just come, stretch, and the flag goes up. And the second time you see, they try to stretch, the flag goes up, but it is still. You know, we never like to see a flag standing still. We like it to see moving upon the wind and all. And the third one, we have also seen whenever a flag is being hoisted, the host is trying to stretch the flag. But somewhere something is stopped. So he gets help from the others. They are saying, no, the knot is not okay. Who put the knot? All this is what I was thinking. And what a kind of this, especially when Baba speaks of the horse riders. Why my flag is not unfurling? He's saying there's no breeze of S and I sparkling. I like that analogy. The second analogy which I liked was, I really loved that. My flag is not flying. Someone from a distance is saying, hey, do this. Like Baba is giving me a distance from a signal. Like, when you're on the stage and you've forgotten your part, there will be a prompter on the side stage, opening up his lips and talking. We look at his lips and then we do, or we may have someone in front. What a I don't know. I love the scene, the way Baba has put it, this whole stage of the soul, and how he has ended it. They're just two things: realization, absorption, experience, not just a parrot. A good vision. Om Shanti.
Yes, Neerja sister, thanks for sharing. And an excellent way of summarizing the Murli, I must say. Um, yes, the vision that you created, absolutely. So Baba is saying that for a Maharathi, when you hoist the flag, it'll have the breeze, it'll be the perfect flag hoisting. For a horse rider, it'll be a perfect flag hoisting, but there would be no breeze of the sparkle and the intoxication of faith. Absolutely. And for the infantry, because there are knots in the rope when you're hoisting the flag, you'll have to make a lot of effort. First, open the knots, and only then you can hoist that flag. And when that's not happening for the horse riders or for the infantry, there is support. There is a prompter standing in the background, and he's always there. He goes everywhere with us. But we are so engrossed in opening those knots that we don't listen, or we are not able to catch the words that the prompter is calling out, because there's so much happening at that time. We are not able to focus where we need to focus. Amazing. There's also one more chat that's coming. Taking cooperation is also a form of yoga. Absolutely. Does anyone want to throw some light on that? How taking cooperation from Baba is also yoga.
No, but cooperation in this Murli, I'm not talking about other Murlis. It's a job of an infantry, I think, because a Maharati he just goes, stretches, the flag comes. And instead of take cooperation, generally we refer to Brahmins. That's what Baba says. From Brahmins, you receive cooperation. From outsiders, you receive blessings. But in this Murli, I was just thinking, maybe Sakash from Baba, but Baba, we can't say cooperation. Baba cannot say cooperation. But can you tell me how can we include cooperation in today's Murli?
I can just share my churnings, sister. But if somebody else also wants to share what they picked up as cooperation before I'll start, that'll be good. Okay.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Sister, I see it this way. When we are in conversation with others, sometimes we do say to them, I don't see your point. I don't understand that. But as Baba clearly says, vision, that's when we are in remembrance of Baba. Baba provides us vision. We have an imagination, we have a clarity of the situation. So that brings out and cools or makes us clear or makes us feel realized about the conversation or the instance itself. So that way we start getting cooperated, we start cooperating others, and we start receiving cooperation also. So having that vision is one thing, and having a clarity that brings in by remembering him, allows us to sail through that situation. I think that's how I see cooperation um, coming up by remembering Baba.
Nice. So you're saying that when we remember Baba, we receive that cooperation which helps us in many situations also, and it helps us to cooperate with others as well.
Yes.
That's a good, nice perspective. Anyone
Oh,
else?
Om Shanti.
Okay.
Actually, in today's Murli, when Baba is talking about realization, Baba is talking about awareness. Baba is also talking about the experience. And Baba is not only just talking about the experience, Baba is also telling us the way of doing it. And Baba's words are very typical today, but we can understand in between the lines. Then what we feel that when we really are soul conscious, and that is a natural state we have as the Marathis to have. They are soul conscious naturally. That means they don't have to take any effort. And when we become soul conscious, and whosoever becomes soul conscious, okay, the Maharathis are natural, and the Ursavars are also having the flag of victory, but that is not constant, and for the others. But the main thing is that whosoever is soul conscious, and the time for it is he or she is soul conscious, that soul will be connected to Baba. And when connected to Baba, that Sankaran, that what is talking about the cooperation. As we become soul conscious, we are connected to Baba. And as when we are connected to Baba, we start getting that Sang. And with that Sang of Baba, we get Sankaran. And with that Sankaran, there starts the wonderful transformation. And and that wonderful transformation is only by realization that yes, I am a soul and I am Baba's child. And what I feel that that will become natural unless and until we do the Purusharth actually, so that Baba becomes my sansar. For the
Correct.
Maharathis, actually Baba is my sansar. And when Baba becomes my sansar, things happens automatically. You do not do any effort. All the relations becomes very natural. You start experiencing that all those relationships, and when you experience all those relationships, that is only it means Baba is my sansar. And what I
True.
feel that the realization, the real word, the reality, the realization is basically the awareness. Realization is the real acceptance, and when you realize, you really transform naturally. Really, the transformation is really uh, practical, and with that inward journey and self-awareness and soul conscious state, and a time comes to become really connected to
Correct.
Baba, and that Sankaran, and Baba becomes the sansar basically. That what is talking Baba talked about today's Murli. If
Yeah.
Baba becomes your sansar, everything is natural, and everything is natural,
Correct.
you become Marathi. Om Shanti.
Thank you, brother. I think very beautiful way of again summarizing the Murli, how Baba spoke about realization, cooperation, and Baba becoming our complete world. Absolutely. So it starts from realization, right? And it moves to cooperation. But when we talk about cooperation, which sister had inquired about, I can just share my own churning and what appeals to me as Baba's cooperation. Uh, for us to live in this world, right, where there are so many different situations that come up, as Brahmins also, right? When we were not Brahmins, we needed cooperation at many different stages. When I was small, I was not able to understand something. My father and my mother would have helped me walk, would have supported me. When I was not earning, they would have given me money to buy things, right? When I was going for education, my teacher supported me and cooperated with me to make me understand things, right? Even when I was not understanding, she or he helped me specially, gave me special attention. My coach, if I'm into sports, my coach. So there are different relationships that I need cooperation from to become who I am. I cannot do it on my own, right? Sometimes I'm down. I need a friend to talk to. I need a friend to give me a perspective. Maybe I'm not able to look at the larger perspective. Somebody gives me a perspective, and suddenly that's a eureka moment for me. I need that friend. I need that counselor when things are not going right for me, when I'm down, when I'm depressed. I need that counselor. I need that mentor to guide me. What should I do here in this situation, right? I need that anchor in my life, even in Lokik. And the same way for Brahmins, I feel. We need that experience of every relationship with Baba. He is my anchor. He is my guide. He is my counselor. He is my coach. He's my boss when I'm in office. He's my boss, nobody else, right? He guides me on what to do, what not to do. He's my mother. He's my father, you know. So if I am able to experience Baba in all relationships, which Baba said, I'm able to receive his cooperation in any small thing or in any big thing in my life as a Brahmin. And then I don't need these other relationships for my cooperation of my help. Then I can be a giver for all the other relationships because all my expectations from these relationships are being fulfilled by Baba. He's the one who is cooperating, and that is constant yoga for me. That's my journey, sister. Maybe not completely aligned.
Exactly what you said. I just wanted to say that I was just referring to today's Murli, because today's Murli, when Baba's taught, I thought hoisting a revelation stage, it was a final stage. I agree with you totally. I know, sister, because I just a one small question or query, because I never get a chance to ask that. See, in today's Murli, I love the way Baba says, this parrot kind where people read scriptures. Even I have done that. I remember I used to take part in this Gita, Bhagavad Gita competitions. Even now you tell me I can repeat chapter 12 like a parrot, but I never had that absorption. Fine. But how does Baba say when he differentiates between devotion and knowledge, devotees have no experience? That one part. I don't know what kind of experience Baba meant, but I always felt devotees, the experience they have got, that complete bliss, especially Meera, she's my perfect example. What was that once? If you could just throw some light, if you have time, how does Baba say no experience in devotion?
See, when we talk about intoxication, that always comes from experience, correct? When Baba says devotion, see, the basis of devotion is reading the scriptures, understanding, but not experiencing. However, some devotees, like you said, Meera, or other devotees as well, had a very high level of intoxication in their devotion. That's an epitome of devotion, if we can call that, because they went from just reading to experiencing what they read. What Mira's basis was that Krishna was her husband. That's what she felt. That's the relationship she developed with Krishna. And that's the intoxication she carried to her grave. He is there to support me. Same way for Prahlad also, if you see. So what they did was, whatever they read in the scriptures, they created a vision around it. And Baba is like that. He is, we call it in Hindi, he is bhavna ka bhukha, right? It's just the, so in whatever form you remember him, or you experience him, he gives you cooperation in that form, be it devotion or be it jnana, knowledge. But when we talk about knowledge, he has given us the knowledge of who truly we are, who truly he is. So that's the true intoxication in the truest, purest form, right? Again, that's my perspective system. So there is always a difference, and Baba calls this in Murlis, he uses the word yatharthriti, right? In the true sense. Devotion also has intoxication. It also has a level of trueness, but not complete truth. So that's what Baba talks about. But when Baba says scriptures, 99% of all the devotion is only about remembering what is there in the scriptures. But yes, the 1% intoxicated devotees are also there. Even today, they are. I think we're already at time. So it was beautiful. We have some homework, some checking that we need to do. So we will spend a minute in silence, go inside and see what I need to take personally from this Murli today and work on for today. Thank you very much. And Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Shivani Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a lovely day.